Hey everybody, welcome back to BobkeTV and my quick preview of the upcoming starts Sunday Amgen Tour of California, the 13th edition. Do I have to remind anybody how splendid California is? The mountains, the vineyards, the orchards, the agriculture, the coastline. It's a stunning place and a gorgeous backdrop for a bike race. Biggest bike race in America, the Amgen Tour of California, 13th edition, like I said. Some great wins in the past by some of the most notable cyclists in our sport. This year's edition shapes up to be another glorious trip through the beauty of California. Do not miss it. I'm going to get to the contenders for the GC and the sprint stages in a moment. But let's take a quick look at the course. This is my calculation. Stages 1, 5, and 7 are for the sprinters. And it's an incredible field. You are going to watch all of the sprint stages. I'll get to that in a second. GC stages probably played out. Stage number 2 up Gibraltar, just outside of Santa Barbara. Very tough, steep climb to the finish on stage 2 after a pretty difficult stage with a lot of climbing. Stage 4, this is critical, 21-mile time trial. And in a stage race that's just a week long, you generally don't have a time trial much over 10 to 15 kilometers. And so 21 miles, it's going to be a huge difference for the GC at the end of the stage 4 time trial in San Jose. It's a course that was used back in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And then a very tough stage up to high altitude, actually, in South Lake Tahoe. That is stage number 6. So those are probably the 3 stages where the GC will be played out. And that leaves a couple of stages for the breakaways to succeed, especially Laguna Seca stage number 3. There's an outside chance the breakaways could succeed at Gibraltar Road and South Lake Tahoe, but generally the GC is being played out on those stages, and it's tough for the breakaway to succeed. Another problem for the breakaway in Laguna Seca, Peter Sagan will want to repeat his success from 2016, where he rode brilliantly. Tough climb, just about 2 Ks to go, that generally dispatches most of the sprinters. Sagan was able to hold on, and he was the fastest guy in that finale. So if he doesn't win stage 1, look for him to be all in on stage 3 at Laguna Seca. Might make it tough for the breakaway to succeed. And Peter Sagan is just one of the host of sprinters that we have, and it is a real phenomenal field of sprinters. Mark Cavendish, Marcel Kittel, Fernando Gaviria, Caleb Ewan, Alexander Kristoff. One of the best sprint fields of the year. Tour de France always has a great field of sprinters, but this year's Tour of California is an absolutely stellar cast for the sprint stages. So Sagan's going to have his hands full. He's won 16 stages in the Tour of California. I think Mark Cavendish has 10 wins. So both of those guys will be looking to add to their total of stage wins. The GC, I see a 3-way battle for the GC. TJ Van Garderen, Egan Bernal, and Rafael Majka. Majka teammates on Bora with Peter Sagan. Egan Bernal will lead the Sky team, and TJ, of course, on the BMC squad. And Adam Yates is also going to participate from the Mitchelton Scott squad. Adam 4th in the Tour de France in 2016. He's not had a lot of racing in recent weeks and this season. So I'm not sure if he'll be 100% to contend with Bernal, Van Garderen, and Majka. But if he's feeling good, he's one of the best stage racers in professional cycling, and I expect him to be competitive during the week's racing. The podium. 21-mile time trial, like I said, is going to be a big factor in the race. So, who can we expect to do a good time trial? TJ, excellent time trialist in stage race situations, and can go good in the mountains. Makes him very, very dangerous. I'm going to pick him for second, and this is why. Egan Bernal is a great climber, just 21 years of age. He has already got 2 big time trial wins this year. National Time Trial Championships of Colombia and in Romandy. Won the individual time trial. That's a little bit different than the course in San Jose, but Egan Bernal is phenomenal against the clock and is a stellar climber like many of the great champions we've seen come out of Colombia. I'm starting to have my doubts that Nairo Quintana can win the Tour de France. And it might very well be that it's Egan Bernal who becomes the first Colombian to win the Tour de France. I know that's what's going to happen to the comment section with that, but at this point, that's my thinking. Sorry. There will be a women's edition also, won last year by Anna van der Breggen from the Netherlands in a very tight battle with Katie Hall from the UHC squad. Anna van der Breggen not coming back, but Katie Hall will be back and looking to move up 1 spot in the overall standings. And I'm going to predict Katie Hall for the win in the women's race. Corinne Rivera will also be there for the sprint stages in the women's edition. And it's great to have the women racing right along with the men. I love Tour of California. Born and raised in Cali. It's nice to come back to the home state. It's absolutely fantastic. A lot of times we'll be going down a road in the race, and I'll have a flashback to my childhood when we would go on these, and I'm not sure if people of my generation will remember this. Everybody gets in the car on Friday when their dad got off work and headed for the hills. For better or worse, no plan, no budget, just everybody get in the car, drive as far as we can, and then be back to work by Monday, and school, by the way. And so we'll be driving along in the Tour of California, and I'll have a flashback to some of those childhood moments. And it's absolutely delightful for me to be back in California and watching, like I said, a world-class event. California is gorgeous. The racing is going to be great. Have a blast watching the Tour of California. And if you're lucky, please come and visit the race. Hold it, stop the presses. Hold on. I believe I forgot to mention Fernando Gaviria from the Quick Step team in the list of sprinters at the Amgen Tour of California. That is my bad. Please, fellas, on Quick Step, don't hold it against me. But Fernando Gaviria, very capable of winning any of the sprint stages and might give Peter Sagan, if it comes down to that, a little bit of trouble at the Laguna Seca stage just outside of Monterey. Like I said, world-class bike race with a gorgeous backdrop, the Amgen Tour of California.